name is Shona. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my November wrap-up part 2. And I'm just going to go through it real quick, give a few thoughts about what I felt about the books, and if you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and put them down below. And the first book that I've read was Free Keys by Kelly Young, which is a sequel to Front Desk. Now Mia's family has the motel, so hopefully Days will be looking up. But unfortunately, there's a racist proposition happening in California that threatens to throw illegal families out of the country and to take illegal children out of the schools. And I really enjoyed this book because of the issues that Kelly Yang talks about. She talks about the fact that, immigrants, a majority of immigrants come here just to have a better life, to give their children a better life than what they had. A lot of them, they come over here, they're doctors, they're engineers, they're mathematicians in their other countries, but they come here and they're doing jobs like cooking and cleaning and, labor, picking stuff. And Mia has to deal with the fact that, her dad's upset because she's losing her Chineseness. She's becoming more Americanized. She has to deal with her mom being sad because, she doesn't want to clean rooms all day. She wants to engineer. She wants to go back to school. She wants to get a degree. She wants to get a better job. And she also has to deal with the fact that her friend Lupe is, she's an immigrant, and she's dealing with the fact that her mother went back home for a funeral and hasn't come back home yet, and her dad was detained at the border. And it's just so much in this little middle grade book. So I highly recommend reading any of Kelly Yang's stuff. So that's Front Desk, Free Keys, and her young adult book, Parachutes. Give It Volume 4 by Natsuki Kizu. This follows a four-person band, and this volume mainly follows the two college students that are in the band and their relationship. The drummer, which is this guy, Akihiko, he is in a tumultuous relationship with somebody from his high school days. They're constantly on and off. And then you have Haruki, I believe. Hold on, let me see. Yes, Haruki, who is questioning, everybody's growing in this band. What do I have to offer in this band? He has a one-sided crush with Akihiko. And this book does have possible triggering sexual assault in it, and it does not get brushed off very easily. So I would definitely be wary as you're reading this book. But this book does have some of the most beautiful artwork I have ever seen. It's just so cute. Like, there's one of our little high school guys, and they're just so, he's just, look at that face. You want to protect that face, don't you? So that's Given Volume 4. And the next book that I've read was Sweat and Soap Volume 4 by Katetsu Yamada. This follows a pair of office workers. One works in the prototypes of scents, and the other one is an accountant. The female, whose name is Asako, she has a condition where she sweats a lot. And then you have Natori, who is our bloodhound nose guy, and he was able to pick out Asako's scent. And they start a budded friendship and then relationship. And this book features them coming out to their co-workers that they are in a relationship. And they also decided if they want to move in together or not. And I just really enjoyed the artwork in this book. It's just extremely cute and it's just a really, really, really lovely manga. So I would recommend reading it if you would like to have just a nice steamy office romance. Alright, the next book I've read is a children's manga called Yuzu the Pet Vet Volume 2 by Mingo Ito. And this manga is heavy. This manga deals with a lot of animal abuse, a lot of topics about owning an animal, caring for an animal, animals being displaced, animals being put back in shelters, people that buy cute animals for celebration and it ended up giving them away when they become too much work or they become too much of a hassle. So tread lightly with this book if you decide to give it to a kid because these topics are heavy. It does have some really pretty artwork. I do enjoy the little bit of happiness it gives, but like I said, it is very, very, very heavy. So just be aware of that. Next up, I read an e-manga called We Swore to Meet in the Next Life, and that's when things got weird, by Hato Hachiya. And this is the first volume of an age gap romance where in the past life you had the knight and the young princess, but now you have a woman in her late 30s and a high school boy. And this volume is just them meeting up and slowly started to fall in love. And it does touch on the topic of age gap romance, so if you are interested in that, I would highly recommend checking it out. And then next, I just wanted something a little light and happy, so I ended up picking up Yosaba Volume 6 and Yosaba Volume 7 by Kiyohiko Azuma. And this is just a slice of life, follows a 5-year-old as she journeys, as she learns new things. And I just really love it. Like, my favorite panel is in Volume 7, and it's just extremely cute. And she's asked if they would allow one of the other guys to come on the trip to the ranch, and she's like, no. It's a really cute manga, and it's a very fast manga. You could just pick up any volume and fall right into the story. There's no catching up to do. It's just Yosaba and her friends. Okay, after that I read Ways to Make Sunshine by Renee Watson, and this is a middle grade contemporary story about a young girl who has to move homes after her dad loses his job. And it covers things like accepting yourself for who you are, accepting your situations, and putting yourself out there, because our young protagonist has a fear of speaking in public, but at the end of the book she decides that she needs to help her friend and become the MC of the talent show, so she overcomes her fear of stage. And then after reading that, I ended up reading a couple more volumes of a BL, so I ended up reading Secret XXX, which follows Shohei, who is allergic to rabbits but ends up working at a rabbit shop, and Mito, who is the vet of the rabbits. And it's a very sexual, very steamy BL, and it's really cute. Shohei is at college, and he already knows that he loves Mito because he is soft and fluffy and just extremely adorable. And according to him, so his type. I just really love the artwork. It gives me Hattori Bisco's late artwork vibes from when she did behind the scenes. And I really want to keep going with more of Meguru Hinohara's work, which I ended up actually doing when I found out that this series has a spin-off called Therapy Game. We have Minato, who is Mito's brother, and Shizuma, who is Shohei's brother. So I ended up reading volume 1 and volume 2 of that series. Again, very steamy, very good. This follows Shizuma after he gets blackout drunk at a drag bar. Minato brings him into his hotel room, and Shizuma wakes up in the morning to see Minato but does not remember anything that happens. Minato gets pissed at that and decides to make Shizuma fall in love with him. And it's just it's cute, but it's like a lot of people might be turned off at the fact of the whole turning a straight guy gay, but Shizuma's actually questioning his sexuality during this whole time. So I really like that. It does have some moments of bi talk and bi erasure, so just be aware of the bi erasure. Otherwise, very steamy moments, so be careful when you're reading. Okay, so then I finally picked up another prose book, and my library had Dear Justice by Nick Stone. And this book is heavy. It covers incarceration of teens. It covers um, people being innocently in prison. It covers the school to prison pipeline system. And it also covers privilege and acknowledging those privileges. And this, I feel so much for Quinn in this book because it felt like no matter how good he was doing, someone was there to beat him back down. And that's how I felt about this series. Like, he witnesses his father's arrest and ends up getting PTSD from that. He has major anxiety. And this book is mostly flashbacks, some current, and then letters. So the story is told in those kind of ways. And you really need to pick up Nick Stone's work. Like, Nick Stone is such an underrated author, I swear to God. So pick up Dear Martin and pick up Dear Justice. And then after I read Dear Justice, I picked up Daytime Shooting Star, Volume 9. This follows a young girl who moves from the country to the city and her high school life and falling in love with people. So the first person she falls in love with ends up being her teacher, and then she slowly starts to get feelings for a classmate after the teacher thing falls through. I really like this. I do enjoy the artwork. I just really like this one because he ends up getting her a penguin because she's looking so much at the penguin exhibit in the aquarium. So yeah, I do recommend this. It's kind of a very slow moving story, so if that's not your kind of thing, if you like things more fast paced, I would not read this series. So after I read Daytime Shooting Star, I picked up Haiku Volume 39 by Furudate Haruchi. Haiku is volleyball manga. That's pretty much all it is. It's a character study, it is character development, it is tournaments, it is teamwork, it is found family. That is Haiku. This is volume 39, so I can't really get into too many spoilers, but if multiple volume matches are not your thing, Haiku is not going to be your thing because it is literally a tournament arc series. But it's still very good. The next volume I've read was Perfect World Volume 3 by Ray Aruga. This follows a wheelchair architecture and an interior design, and they were high school friends who meet again when they're career people. And this is a heavy volume because it goes into the responsibilities and the talks about dealing with someone with a disability. I believe that the author did do a very good job explaining it and a very good job researching it. I will always implore you to look for own voices or to use your best judgment if you feel like this is right. But for me, this volume worked, and this volume brought tears, and I need volume 4 because of the way this damn thing ended. The next book I read was a e-copy of Ring Shout by P. DeJelly Clark. And Ring Shout is about a group of women who fight and kill the Ku Kluxes, which are these demons that have infiltrated the clan and slowly feeds off of their hatred and spreads hatred to other people. This book is heavy. This book covers a lot of topics that obviously I have no expertise in. I did enjoy it. It was very interesting take on something like racism and demons and twisting it with folk tales too. But I will down a review that I found Chloe's review from Fistal Adverse. Their review is way more articulated than mine, so I implore you to check out their review if you would like to hear more about the nuances of this book. Alright, and then I read Love Me for Who I Am by Kata Honoyama. This is a book following a non-binary character working in a cross-dressing shop that is full of other people on with different genders. So this is a book that talks about a lot of different genders, about questioning, finding yourself, being an ally. So I would really recommend reading this without me really explaining it to you. Just know that I really enjoy it, and I do think that it is a worthwhile book to read. And then after that, I've also borrowed from my library Cherry Magic 30 Years version makes you a wizard Volume 2. This is an office romance. It follows a 30-year-old virgin who can hear the faults of other people, and one day he ends up hearing the fault of the most attractive bachelor in the office, and it turns out the bachelor really wants to date our protagonist. And there's plenty of hilarious moments. It's not too steamy, so it might be just the right BL for you. Okay, so the next volume I read was Doko Boko Sugar Days by Asuko Yuzen. This is a BL manga following two high school students who are in love with each other but haven't confessed their feelings. The only problem I have with this volume is just the way it was drawn, because at first I thought I was reading a heterosexual volume with a short boy and a really tall girl, but that's just the way the mangaka draws dress shirts apparently. But this is very sex positive, so I would be, aware of that when you're reading it. There's a lot of conversations about making sure each partner is satisfied, and it's still very good. I really do enjoy it. It's got pretty artwork, but yeah. Then next I read Coyote Volume 2, which follows a werewolf named Coyote, and he stumbles into a jazz club and slowly starts to fall in love with this guy. His name is John, and it starts off their relationship. But the thing is that John is also part of the group that is slowly killing off werewolves, which, is not a good thing. This is explicit, but it's very good. It has really nice artwork. Like, I'm usually not into the super kind of realistic body artwork, but this one does work out, I believe. Like, it's really pretty. And then there's Coyote on the back. And then the next I got a Yuri manga, which is Casey-san and Yamada Volume 1, also part of a Casey-san and Anthology collection. Technically it does say Volume 6 right there, but it is a Volume 1 collection, and in this volume they are college students, and the ones previous they are still at high school. And this is about two girls that fall in love when they're in high school. Yamada loves flowers, Casey is a track star, and they slowly start to develop their feelings. And I just think this has like really pretty artwork. Like, that's just really pretty. And of course the back has cute little chibis on the back. I recommend this if you like a little drama and a lot of like happy feelings. The last series I read was 4 volumes, the BL manga Candy Color Paradox by Isaku Natsume. And this is my jam. So I read Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. And this follows Onoe and Kaburagi. Kaburagi is our photographer, and Oyue is our writer. And Oyue is loud, Kaburagi is quiet. And that is like my favorite trope, is where you have the loud, obnoxious guy and then the quiet, stoic guy. And there's just so much funniness in this book, and I really do enjoy reading it. There are steamy moments, so I would implore you to just use your best judgment. Right there. Look at that artwork. And then of course the back really shows off their personality. There's slow burn, there's a sister, there's a rival, there's a sleazy actor, and it's got all the sexy times too. Okay, so that's my November wrap up. It was a lot of manga, a little bit of books. I promised to find a way to make this more coherent, maybe just do books by themselves and then manga by themselves. But you just let me know down below what you think. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and you guys have a great day. Bye!